Hey everybody, how's it going? Hello everybody, JT here on behalf of the Ethfinance Community here on the EVMavericks Discord. Thanks to the Mavericks for once again hosting this number 32 Daily Doots Happy Hour. Appreciate you. Give us a thumbs up and smash the bell if you haven't already on YouTube. The Weekly Doots live stream is all about showcasing the best of the week from the Ethfinance community on Reddit. This is a read-along reaction series, so if you want to follow along and read ahead of time or just listen to my voice, you can do this at dailydoots.com, designed and produced by our very own Hanniabu. And while you're at it, go ahead and grab today's POAP. If you haven't done that yet, this is a great time to do it. Any proceeds, which is not a whole lot anyway, that comes out of that will be used towards public goods. Big thanks to Tricky Troll for capturing each day's Doots on the Ethfinance subreddit, along with the A-Word who curates this beloved weekly Doots list. Anyways, if you know somebody that wants to come on board with me on the Zoom call to do an interview about teams or projects or whatever's being built out there in the ecosystem, send them my way. I would like to give them a shout. Announcements this week, Gitcoin Explorer round 18. Let me share my screen here. Gitcoin, I believe it's round 18. The Explorer homepage has all kinds of different saturated areas you could look at if you want to help fund Web3 open source software, climate solutions, community and education, or Ethereum infrastructure, etc. Head on over to grants.gitcoin.co. This is actually the first round that I'm in, and I've never done one of these before. I'm working with Kevin Owaki from Green Pilled for video content. So in order to keep that gravy train rolling, consider donating. We've also got, I think we got some EVMavericks that are also in here as well. Personally, I donated to 28 projects, and it's really easy to do. It sounds flashy and expensive, but it's not. Giving anything at all helps bring funds to these projects through a matching pool, which is exponential. So you should learn all about quadratic funding. The Green Pill video channel actually made a video about quadratic funding. If you don't know what that is or how it works, I have a pretty cool little explainer video. And then today at noon, I'm dropping another video that is all about quadratic voting, which would be a lot of fun in the election cycle, or picking out proposals in a DAO or anything like that, where you have like a bunch of different choices. You don't have to do one person, one vote. You can do many votes for many people and spread it around. All right. So with that, I think we are good. Yep. Gitcoin grants round. I'm looking at my notes here on dailydoots.com. Let's go right into the morning trinity. Kitchen Pudding 8750 shouts out Ethereum. Zebra Surfer clocks in at $1,649, and our very own The A-Word 6.3 on the ratio. Weekly Haiku, courtesy of JS Tears. Ask your reporter on the final quarter, supply gets shorter. Very good, JS Tears. I don't know how they do this. Every day almost he produces a haiku for us. All right, and on to the Validator Q, your daily beacon chain dose brought to us by Space Cider. Active validators, 751,257. The pending validators joining 58.6 thousand, and the amount leaving, roughly zero. The entry queue is down 600 from yesterday's number. It'll take around 23 days for the entry queue to clear. In around 14 days, the amount of daily validators that can both enter or exit will be increased from 2,475 to 2,700. These figures are based on the entry and exit queue at the time of posting and can all be tracked at Hanniabu's website, validatorq.com. And now it's time for our shit post of the week. As always, we save the best for first by Savage Dragon. Ben Cowan is calling for ETH coming home again. And honestly, it's comical that people even listen to that guy. A freaking man. No doubt. Ben Cowan, I don't know if you all know who he is. Most of you probably do. He's been calling for ETH to tank and shit the bed now. I don't know how many months he's been wrong, and he's just stubborn. He won't let it go. But, careful what you wish for. We did have Easy Peasy in our midst a few years ago. Let's see. Seek Soldiers compares the pros and cons of on-chain versus off-chain swaps. Cow swap is awesome. You generally get the best price for execution and you have gas abstracted away. So it's so good that Uniswap is more or less copying them for Univ 4. I don't know what Univ 4 means. However, the coincidence of once that Cow is famed for is an off-chain matching system. If we have the largest DEX in the space move liquidity, market making off-chain, we will be making a huge shift towards a lunar punk ethos in perhaps a negative way. So lunar punk is the opposite of solar punk, right? A little bit more pessimistic, I'm guessing. On-chain liquidity numbers have been super transparent and is the basis for most risk analysis. I've gotten RETH accepted as collateral on many different lending platforms, and I've read through a number of analyses. The one common point across all of these platforms has been proof of lasting liquidity. In fact, it was this consistent request across protocols for probable liquidity that formed the basis for RETH having liquidity incentives to begin with. We needed to prove RETH was liquid. Back to the issue at hand. When market makers move off-chain, they will no longer be sourcing from on-chain liquidity providers. There was a tweet a few days ago, if I wasn't banned, I'd find it, that showed that only a small handful of people provided most of the ETH USD liquidity on Uniswap. If these people decided to become searchers in the CowSwap or Univ 4 system, then they wouldn't have public liquidity and slippage would become hard to predict. I am very favorable towards privacy in certain cases. Public liquidation levels is dumb as hell. However, on-chain liquidity is like a global proof of reserves. The whole world benefits by being able to have reasonable ideas about slippage. Perhaps we can get the best of both worlds. It's not unreasonable for these off-chain market makers to have post-ZK proofs of their holdings on-chain somehow. It doesn't have to be individualized since we only care about the picture globally. This system would also warn people when liquidity vanishes, which is an issue otherwise. Not to mention Suave makes this whole problem worse by abstracting liquidity at the block building level. I need somebody that wants to chime in on this to kind of paint a picture of what's going on here. If not, I will move on. That is a whole lot of words that I'm not very familiar with. I mean, I understand some of this stuff, but I haven't really messed with CowSwap, and I think it looks like a lot of it is the sourcing of liquidity between Uniswap and CowSwap is they're just different for different reasons. Looks like on-chain liquidity numbers have been super transparent. This is the basis for most risk analysis. Okay, all right, I'm going to move on. Thank you, Seek Soldiers. ETH account celebrates their cake day by reflecting on the last 7 years. Ooh, okay, here we go. It's my cake day. He's got a party horn in his mouth. 7 years ago, I realized I was posting too much crypto stuff on my main account. So I decided to make an Ethereum account instead. These days, my main account is long gone, and I have fully become Ethereum account. And he has a salute emoji. Bear market things plus life changes mean I haven't been around as much, but still lurking here from time to time and still shit posting on Twitter, X, or whatever it's called now. I'll be back when there's exciting stuff to talk about again, price-wise or tech-wise or both. Yeah, and that seems like true for a whole lot of people. You know, it's funny. We've got in a way we have so much technical stability in the ecosystem that there's not a lot of roadmap-y type stuff to celebrate about. Then you got the bear market things. Then you got the Twitter thing, and then you got the Reddit API thing on top of all of that. And it's just like the people are kind of lurking on Reddit in whatever form they can, but it's like a lot of people are just kind of burnt, you know, at the moment with all of the different shifts in market and everything like that. You know what I didn't do? I didn't go back. I need to do the rich list. I forgot to do the rich list. We got to do the rich list because guess who's been posting again? Superfizz. Ha ha. Hanniabu breaks into the top 10 at 51. Congrats, Hanniabu. Benito 2030 at 53. Scientist at 55. K-Brot at 60. K-Brot's been kind of chilling out for a while. Set one less at 60. 696 ETH is at 63. Cryptowell currency at 66. Tricky Troll tied at 66. Logri the Bard at 75. And the almighty everlasting Super Fizz is at 116. All right, very good. Let's see. Moving on up the list. Here we go to PA7X1 shares a mental model of scaling via L2s versus scaling the L1. Excuse me for a second. All right. A few days ago, someone asked on our Ethereum, what's the advantage of scaling a layer 2, scaling via layer 2 versus layer 1? I started drafting my response, but life got in the way and I couldn't give a timely answer. I will instead post it here. Most of you will understand, well, this topic, but it might benefit someone that didn't think about the problem in these terms or give you another way to explain it to newcomers. I can tell I'm already going to like this. Here's a very simple mental model to understand the scalability trilemma, or why blockchains don't scale in a trivial, naive manner. The scalability trilemma basically states that from the following three properties, here we go, decentralization, security, and scalability. A blockchain can only pick two. On a personal note, that's a thing that I always say. It's like time, talent, and treasure. Pick two. The moment you try to attain the other, okay, so the three keywords here, decentralization, security, and scalability. The moment you try to attain the other, you start to give up some of the opposite properties or the other two properties. The easiest way to see why is to understand the two trivial, naive ways to scale a system. They are called horizontal and vertical scalability. Horizontal scalability is, in essence, adding more instances of the machine to solve the problem in parallel. For instance, your CPU has multiple cores to scale it horizontally. Vertical scalability, is about adding more resources to a single instance to make it able to process more per unit of time, more memory, faster CPU, faster internet connection. The thing is that these two techniques are directly at odds with the other two properties of the trilemma. Vertical scalability is at odds with decentralization, and horizontal scalability is at odds with security. In essence, if you make the requirements to run a node bigger, vertical scalability, you make it harder and harder for anyone that wants to run an instance. Instead of being able to run it in a consumer-grade PC, you will have to run in an AWS instance or a mainframe or whatever ridiculous machine you need to validate Solana. So if you simply increase the resources needed to run a node, you end up centralizing the network. This is what Avalanche, Solana, and various other alt L1s that promise to have solved the scalability did. They are just giving up decentralization for scalability. And horizontal scalability essentially requires splitting the network in shards, each of which validates different sets of transactions, so you can validate in parallel. But if you do this in a naive manner, it's obvious that the security of the network suffers because the cost to attack each shard is proportionally smaller, as there are less validators verifying the transactions. The roll-up roadmap is a non-naive way to scale the network. It uses sophisticated cryptographic techniques to build compressed proofs of computation that basically enable to scale the same block space by many orders of magnitude, as many transactions can be batched together and posted in a compressed form. It also enables parallel sharded execution. You can have multiple rollups of each of which executes transactions in parallel without sacrificing the security of the network. Okay, that's a banger of a post. That is really clearly said. PA7X1, nice job. I don't know if anybody wants to chime in on that. I need a drink of water here. Excelente. All right, Phil Marhow, and Superfizz and Tricky Troll share their different takes on Friend.tech. Boy, just when we needed to have a little spice in the ecosystem, Friend.tech kicks down the door like a Kool-Aid man, huh? I got on there. It's pretty neat, but I don't see myself using it other than just like, I don't know. Here we go. I'm going to hear what they got to say. I always say Phil. It says Phi Mar how. Every good Ponzi, by lasting long enough, hits a moment of capitulation. At that point, initial haters are swayed by its resilience and join in despite their misgivings. If the Ponzi is especially good, this moment is properly enhanced by an announcement. Lever capitulation into full-blown FOMO. I believe we hit that moment yesterday with Friend.tech. The paradigm stuff, airdrop points. My timeline is filled with otherwise reasonable people hopping on board. Quote, but Wi-Fi, why do you call Friend.tech a Ponzi? I'm having fun. They're going to release more features. Social tokens aren't the future, unquote. My own perspective comes down to a simple math. The price curve for shares is supply squared. It goes up fast, goes down faster. You get that high initial growth, tricking your brain into extrapolation, even though in reality it's pricing people out. Then once sentiment turns and people dump, you get a catastrophic fall with everyone, and especially late buyers, scrambling to get out. Platform fees are 5% on every trade. Open up your calculator app and type 1,000. Multiply it by 0.95. And then do that operation again and again. See how much money you have left after 3 trades or 5 trades or 10 trades. See how much value is extracted from the user base by the developers. You add these two together and you have a recipe for a heavily negative sum game. The money is siphoned away from the system no matter what. A minimum of 10% in and out. And the longer you stay in and trade. And more, the longer you stay in and trade. I'm a reckless gambler myself. I'm not going to tell you you can't have fun in a Ponzi. I'm not going to talk to you about morality. But I would tell you this is one of those times where don't put any money you're unwilling to lose should apply strongly. It will come crashing down, and there will be many more losers than winners. The math makes this inevitable. Any money you put in Friend.tech is a greater fool's theory bet where the odds are stacked against you. And now that was Phi Marhal's take. Here's Superfizz. In 2013, I was part of a local Bitcoin group. We had this one member, Tammy. Superfizz, you're funny, dude. Tammy, not his real name, who attended every meeting and always contributed to really insightful discussion. The thing was, Tammy never bought Bitcoin or any of the altcoins that were springing up at the time. He explained that if he never bought coins, he could never get scammed. He prided himself on understanding the fundamentals of every coin, and he was very sharp at identifying potential weaknesses of different coins, but he never bought in. To this day, I'm still not sure if he has ever held any crypto. The point is, it's no fun to participate in crypto if you avoid new things. It's no fun to sit on the sidelines and point out flaws. I don't want anyone to blow their stack. And I'm very honest about what I believe are valuable tools and what I think are fads, but it's okay to check out the fads. Could you imagine still being unwilling to hold JPEG NFTs because they're just pictures? Pretty much anyone who holds that view is still living in 2019. So I urge Ethfinance to relax a little bit, stop being so scared of things that are likely to be fads, and just check them out with care and caution. I have a group of fad enthusiasts, and we've explored 3 fads this month, and all of them have been a ton of fun. Give yourself some time to grow if you need it. Skip this one, no harm, but commit to sticking a pinky toe in the next thing, just so you can enjoy the ride. That's well said. All right, Tricky Troll. His take on Friend.tech. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sick of the nuance-free takes about Friend.tech. It seems like everyone either is convinced it is the future and super disruptive or basically just a Ponzi. Can we please get some nuance here? Low IQ into the curve. Here's the play. So the low the low IQ end of the curve says this: whoa, I could buy shares of my favorite influencers. This is the future. And the mid curve normie take, it's just a Ponzi scheme with like alternating capital letters. It's just a Ponzi scheme. And the big brain take, quote, this is both an innovative platform and an app with major hurdles and design flaws to adoption. It has unique utility like token gated chat rooms, which will almost certainly be valuable in the future on some kind of future platform, but it might not be this one. Friend.tech has many weaknesses, and in particular, it uses a highly volatile Uniswap version 1 and 2 based curve for pricing of influencer shares. As a result, prices fluctuate wildly and will leave many users with a sour taste in their mouth when they get dumped on. This is a big hurdle. To mainstream adoption, and the price dumps are why all the normies leave and talk shit about crypto in a bear market. 95% of people don't want to speculate on this stuff. Furthermore, there is also an enormous 5% fee on all trades, which quickly bleeds users of their investments if they trade regularly. I agree with a lot of your takes in the replies. My point isn't that any one of them is wrong, just that your nuanced takes are what I have been wanting more of and less one-sentence posts whining about it or shilling it. These are all really good takes. I love it. Great job, A-Word. I'm glad you picked this one out. And thanks to Phil Marhow. I said Phil again. Phi Marhow, Superfizz, and Tricky Troll for their opinions on Friend.tech. I'll open up the floor if anybody wants to chime in on it. Or if you have an account. I've got an account. Bet you can guess what my name is. All right. Moving on. Moving on up. Faradin.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't necessarily feel drawn to this fad, but I can't imagine trading fiat for internet beans and paying way too much for pictures of feet and doing all of the things on this cutting edge and then only to draw the line now, on this new what they're calling Friends Tech, but I just don't see it being the hill to die on, right? Like, I wish their privacy policy was a little bit more tightened up. But again, it's like these iterations need to play out so we can figure out what we don't want, what the market's going to reject, and then how to build and improve upon.
Yeah.
So it has to start somewhere.
Yeah, degen's going to degen, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's let me see. There's some chat here. I want to see if somebody. Okay. Yeah. Treebeard says any privacy policy, LMAO, it's just an instant red flag for me. Any privacy policy, LMAO, given you have to sign in with a social media account. So I think it's tied to like your Twitter. It's just an instant red flag for me, at least. Yeah, literally, I went in there and I think I bought like a couple of shares of some people as I saw them populate, but I haven't really even opened it up on my phone. I don't know. We just degen's gonna degen. Everybody wants something to do if they're not doing other things. Shiny new things always get us. This all being said, 5% per trade. I mean, you know what you're getting into when you start charging that. It's it is kind of interesting the way some of this might work in the future. For instance, like we happily, or some of us, pay a monthly amount. Like I'm just throwing this out there. Some people want like a blue stamp on their Twitter or whatever, right? $8 a month. And some people want to have like a better YouTube experience, with a YouTube TV, or we want to purchase Reddit Gold every month. We sign up for all these different siloed companies and their offerings, in this situation, it's like, yeah, they're a market maker. So you're not even really giving money directly to the team. They're just making a market, and then people can trade amongst themselves and they generate fees passively that way instead of trying to entice advertisers and everything. There's no advertising, right? So Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting component. I'm trying to think of an equivalent where like some type of future type of Reddit would allow you to post on the daily, but you could also, you know, I hate to bring up donuts or moons or whatever, but some kind of deal where an upvote could be worth something. But of course, this model sucks too because the accounts are free to begin with, and the points are being generated out of thin air. So, I mean, we just got a long ways to go to find like what's going to be the thing, right? Everybody's kind of waiting. Everybody's pissed off about API stuff with the AI, you know, companies just sponging up everything. And so now all these big tech companies are like retracting, and it's making our user experience just worse and worse. And not even to get into the weeds on surveillance issues. And there's going to be a breakthrough, and crypto is going to be at the helm of it, is my belief. And hopefully in a way that's, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be, we're a ways off, but at least people are kind of having fun. I'm kind of on Super Fizz's thing. Like, just if you know what you're getting into and you know that you could lose all of your money because like there's all these trading fees or whatever, then just have fun with it. I mean, you don't go to the arcade to play video games hoping to win a prize, right? You put your quarters in the machine for an experience, and that's it. Now I'm aging myself. Shit, does anybody in here even remember going to the mall in the 80s and 90s and getting a slice of Sbarro's pizza and playing pinball, or is it just me? All right, Treebeard says, you could buy shares without the app, though. I think there's still plenty of innovation happening. Just got to ignore the degen Twitter noise sometimes. Yep. Austin says, yes, this is a great post. Yeah, it is. I love it because it's a conversation all between three great people in the sub. Okay, and then now we got another duo back and forth. Faradin is interested in hypothetical decentralized Wikipedia, and OK Dragonfruit 1929 has some great thoughts. By the way, OK Dragonfruit this last week, I think they had a triple kill, making the Doots 3 times. They just smashed with like 3 bangers all in the same day. I know our comments are low, but so's the number of Doots, right? But OK, Dragon Fruit has been slaying dragons like they are fruit. Oh, there I went. Okay. All right. So hypothetical decentralized Wikipedia. So is anyone, this is from Faradin, so is anyone interested in brainstorming a decentralized alternative to Wikipedia? If you aren't familiar, Brian Lunduke just posted this video on Wikipedia's finances. I can't share the video over Discord because I don't have a virtual audio cable to pipe the audio from this. I'm not going to worry about like sharing the screen and doing all that. But there's a link here at dailydoots.com, and I'm going to open it up in a tab because I want to watch this. All right, so the TLDR. Faradin says Wikipedia's expenses are roughly a third of their revenues. They're a nonprofit, right? The difference goes to, quote, charities, which have some strange political ties. I wasn't born yesterday. A de facto information platform like Wikipedia is donating 2/3 of its revenue to political entities, is going to end up with Wikipedia itself censoring opinions to protect their donation streams and perhaps to curry favor with politicians. Things get even worse when you consider Lunduke's previous financial investigation. Mozilla, is that Firefox? Gets most of its revenue from, drumroll please, Google. I swear, big tech has monetary incest problems, which makes FTX look solvent. Ooh, that's interesting. On a side note, I recently I say recently, it was probably over a year ago. Lex Friedman interviewing the founder of Wikipedia, and they talk about political influence and censorship and stuff in that episode, and you could tell that Lex was trying to kind of put a little bit of pressure on how there have been instances of, censorship, and it seems to be a bit one way than the other, and then the guy's response was like, well, that was the best information we had at the time. And it clearly wasn't, in my view, it was clearly like, no, it wasn't the best information at the time. Like, you were kind of being led to do this. So, okay, so I'll shut up now. Okay, Dragon Fruit has some great thoughts. Any Ethereum L2 based decentralized Wikipedia alternative should focus first and foremost on censorship resistance. Financial incentives are secondary. Censorship resistance should be the top priority to prevent the platform from censoring opinions and information based on pressures from outside entities purchasing the right to edit articles. There's the key. Without proper censorship resistance, the alternative Ethereum L2-based wiki alternative will quickly fall into the same issues as Wikipedia, where donations and political ties influence what information is allowed or promoted on the platform. Hey, Award, I'm going to pause for a second. Who's the Airbnb we were at in Denver? He had a white paper. Gosh dang it. This is going to kick my ass. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. He had a white paper about a decentralized Wikipedia, if I'm not mistaken. James Carnelly.eth. That's who it was.
Yeah, James Carnelly. Yep.
Can we ping him? Is he in this Mavericks Discord? I'm going to try to at him real quick. At James.
Yeah, he's
yes,
in the
he
Discord. You could ping him.
Here we go. I'm doing it. We're going to do this live. Hey, can you jump on this call, my brother from Vitalik's mother? There. Let's see if he can shine a light on what he's doing. Anyway, sorry, I went squirrel there, but not totally. It's on topic. I can't remember exactly what it is that James wrote the white paper for, but I introduced him to Danny Ryan in Denver. He was so nervous. I go, James, I'll introduce you, Danny. It's okay. Like, come on, let's go talk. He's like nervous. This guy's, I mean, of course he doesn't want to, he's so humble. He doesn't want to be the guy shoving a business card in somebody like that's pocket. But anyway, he has an idea. I don't know where he's at with it. I'd love to hear from him. Okay.
I talked to him a little bit ago, maybe a couple months. I don't know if it's the white paper you're talking about, but he is obsessed with getting a truly decentralized front end.
Okay, so
we talked about various types of architecture, decentralized compute, and like where the technology was going, and I was approaching it from a very different perspective than him. But what he really is trying to do is get like IPFS hooked up in such a way that's a truly decentralized front end.
See? Gosh dang, I'm glad somebody else remembers. Okay. All right. Okay, so
it was a pretty fun conversation to listen to as a fly on the wall that morning, honestly.
Yeah, and James is he's a pretty smart feller. Yeah, I enjoyed talking to him every time I see him. Okay, so I need to continue on. Okay, the power and control of information. Without proper censorship resistance, the alternative Ethereum L2-based Wikipedia alternative will quickly fall into the same issues as Wikipedia, where donations and political ties influence what information is allowed or promoted on the platform. Here we go. Wikipedia okay, this is kind of echoing what was said before. Wikipedia donates 2/3 of its revenues to outside organizations, many with concerning political connections. This creates a dangerous incentive for Wikipedia to censor information to protect donation revenue streams or curry political favor. The power to control information is far too valuable enough as it is without adding the possibility of profiting if some sort of cookie cutter financial DeFi game is used and applied to a Wikipedia alternative on an Ethereum L2. That's a good point. If the alternative platform relies on tokenizing as a way to wait one's user edits over another, the incentives could lead to censorship and conflicts of interest around what information is allowed or promoted. Financial rewards or incentives for users should be secondary to creating a platform resistant to all forms of censorship and bias. Rewards based on, quote, truthfulness, unquote, could easily turn into subjective censorship. Any form of censorship, no matter how well intentioned, can be exploited to silence dissenting opinions and shape narratives. Maintaining censorship resistance should be the highest priority. Without proper incentives and protections, all platforms, even L2 Ethereum dApps, are vulnerable to becoming tools of censorship. The alternative must be designed from the ground up to resist this. Yeah, it's a lofty problem. I mean, it is. I think in terms of broadly in terms of the internet and the way things are, I think Wikipedia has been pretty damn fantastic. But yeah, you've got the capture creep walking in a little bit there, it sounds like. So hopefully that's something that can be solved. I just don't know if L2 is an answer. Okay, Dragonfruit's, that was a great reply. It's very level-headed. Crypto can't solve everything. I think it can solve maybe some of the voting on what gets edited in, like quadratic voting. New video dropping in 20 minutes. Okay, Benito 2030 is structuring the community-made Ethfinance bull case for Ethereum. As stated last Friday this week, I have started to structure all of your feedback for a potential, quote, Ethfinance bull case for Ethereum, unquote, post, which could also be used for a short video. Ethereum network, bullet points, no competition for decentralized block space. It's the only credible neutral blockchain network. Ethereum is green. Ethereum still number one for developers. Ethereum is the only blockchain with multiple clients. The EVM is Lindy. Ethereum is scaling via L2s. There is enough block space infra for now, and the cost per transaction will go down with a 4844. ETH and Layer 2 is home to native stablecoins. And ETH continues to attract big companies developing payment solutions via Visa and PayPal. And even nation states introducing CBDCs on EVM and not ETH. Ether, the asset. ETH is a triple point asset as a store of value. ETH is needed for transactions plus collateral plus money. ETH has a risk-free yield via staking. It's a deflationary asset. Supply go down, number go up, supply shock. Multiple nation states and corporations buying and staking ETH to ensure the decentralization of the network. And only with ETH, you can build a decentralized stablecoin, ? Demand from developed countries. Here's some comments. Number one, these are obviously just bullets. So I'll add detailed thoughts once we all agree on the structure. And I am not sure this is the best structure yet. For example, you could add a third category with narratives, which could include the ETH is green or risk-free yield bullets. Also something like, quote, use cases, possibly or probably could be its own category as well. Looking forward to your thoughts and potential changes you would like to see. Number two, I have tried to write about Ethereum and ETH so in a way that's not comparing to any other network or asset. I really like these statements made on Friday, but I have rephrased them, and those statements include, PA7X1 has shared their thoughts. The link is in this statement here. Number three, I have added my own points. Some bullets are new. Number four, if you feel your points are not fully covered or inadequately worded in these bullets, feel free to drop a comment and suggest a change. Next steps from my point of view, but also happy to receive feedback when it comes to the process, would be to collect your feedback, change the structure, reorganize all arguments, enhance every bullet or even split them to make sure everything is covered. After that, I will start drafting short paragraphs for each point, but also encourage all of you to draft a bull case yourself, or at least pick your favorite points and draft a small text for those. So that is from Benito 2030, and the link is right there on Ethfinance. You could actually, if you want to continue the conversation in the daily, you could copy that link, put it in the most recent daily, add your thoughts to it. Other people will see it, and hopefully we can cross-reference, into the future instead of going back in time and responding to an old comment on Reddit. Very good. Anybody want to add to that? Otherwise, I will move on. Moving on up. Set One Less shares some sad news for another Tornado Cash dev. Tornado Cash founder arrested by the FBI. Roman Semenov, co-founder of sanctioned virtual currency mixer Tornado Cash, from the Department of Treasury, August 23rd, 2023. Today, the U.S. Department of the Treasury Office of Foreign Assets Control, or OFAC, sanctioned Roman Semenov, one of three co-founders of the sanctioned virtual currency mixer Tornado Cash, for his role in providing material support to Tornado Cash and the Lazarus Group, a state-sponsored hacking group that is instrumentality of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Tornado Cash has been used to launder funds, blah, 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 since its creation, obfuscate hundreds of millions of dollars of virtual currency stolen by the hackers. LOL, when does the Treasury think they will see a, quote, positive change in behavior on the part of the immutable EVM code that resides at 0xD90E2F? Okay, so I think I saw this. Let me look on Reddit, because there was some more conversation that took place here. It was censorship. I think part of it was, okay, I'm trying to remember. Somebody was mentioning, it wasn't so much that the code was like out there in open source. It was that maybe some of these people knew who was using it and were helping them, like hand-holding with them a little bit. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. Anybody want to chime in? Go for it. Curious George, Carlin, I heard your mic open up. Did you want to say something? I think there was something in here where they were knowingly doing more than just releasing the code, but actively assisting. I don't know. This is an ongoing court case. We'll see where it comes to a head. And finally, Stevie Ray Katz. Stevie Ray Katz shares a quiet win for the ecosystem. 3 of the top 15 ETH burning gas consuming contracts on mainnet are L2s. That's such a quiet win for the scaling space, and it's just beginning. This has been your daily dose of hopium. I was going to see if there was any other replies on this. Hanniabu says, subscribe. I fully expect daily hopium. That's a pretty good shitpost, Hanniabu. Good on you, man. All right, if anybody doesn't have anything to chime in on, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this show. All right, very good. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out today. Stick around after the live stream, because we continue the party in the hotel lobby on Discord for a bonus hour of popcorn. It's a fun place to let loose when the parents aren't watching on YouTube. Hi, Mom. On behalf of Ethfinance and the EVMavericks DAO, my name is JT. Cheers and big hugs from Kansas City.